I'm Marie-Claire.
And I'm John, and this is our film of the incredible journey along the Golden Triangle of India.
With Discovery Adventures.
Marie-Claire and I were given the task of discovering the spirit of India during our 2-week trip, beginning in Delhi with the Jama Masjid, an ancient fortified mosque. It is nothing short of magnificent, especially in the early morning sunlight before the smog of Delhi really begins to take hold. Walking through its ancient archway is like stepping back 1,000 years, except for the swarms of foreign tourists thrusting iPads and cameras into every inch of its splendour. Leaving the tranquility of the mosque behind us, we return to the manic streets of Delhi on a white-knuckle tour of the city.
We're already feeling quite immersed in this rich culture, and our senses heightened.
No visit to Delhi would be complete without paying our respects to the father of India, Mahatma Gandhi, at the eternal flame of the Rajghat.
The Ganges is viewed as a river of salvation, an everlasting symbol of hope to past, present and future generations. This truly magical but sometimes overwhelming city is where the most intimate rituals of life and death take place. We're really witnessing the energy of these rituals of bathing and burial.
I returned to the river the morning after the festival to find revellers still celebrating, praying, dancing and shaving as they prepared to welcome the morning sun on the banks of the Ganges. The air was still thick with the smell of smoke and incense, with the relative peacefulness broken with the sound of fireworks until there was a roar of praise as the sun emerged from the morning mist. We left Varanasi, crossing the border into Madhya Pradesh region en route to Khajuraho. Khajuraho is known for its elaborate Hindu and Jain temples and is most famous for its erotic carvings, depicting some rather eye-opening scenes from the Kama Sutra. The journey to Agra gave us our first taste of an Indian train station. The trains are enormous and packed to the rafters, but are an essential and unmissable way to travel across the country. We stopped off in Alipura to meet some of the locals before we boarded another sleeper train en route to our most impressive destination.
This is an incredible sight. The Taj Mahal seems to have a life of its own, truly amazing, and is justly placed as one of the 7 wonders of the world. Although it is one of the most photographed buildings in the world and instantly recognisable, actually seeing it is really awe-inspiring. Agra Fort, sometimes called the Red Fort, is another of Agra's World Heritage Sites. The forbidding exterior of this fort conceals an inner paradise. The faces here tell 1,000 stories. This is definitely a highlight of my trip. It's late afternoon and we're off to Ranthambore. This journey is all about people watching. As we leave the madness of the city behind, we begin to experience the gentleness of the countryside.
The intimacy of every train journey means that it's very easy to make new friends over a tasty train snack and a cup of chai. After a bumpy nighttime drive, we were met warmly at our hotel by a local group of musicians and puppeteers who danced late into the night. The next day we were out early in Ranthambore National Park in search of the elusive Indian tigers. We were assured that only yesterday they were spotted on this very path. We waited, and waited, and waited, until our patience was eventually rewarded by the sight of a tiger dressed as a stag. There is, of course, much more to the park than just the tigers, including the incredible Ganesh temple on top of Ranthambore Fort. As the god of good fortune and prosperity, it is traditional for couples to send their first wedding invitation to Lord Ganesh, which is then actually delivered to this very temple. Sadly though, he's never been able to RSVP.